Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Scooby Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion is a escape room game starring Scooby Doo. Now this one is very much right on point with the IP and the theme as you're going through this mansion and you're trying to figure out who the bad guy is. And there's different options you have, and at the end you have to choose which one you think is. You see if you're right or wrong. The game itself and the puzzles sometimes are very difficult. There was one in particular where you're in two different rooms that we had a difficult time with. And we did have to cheat a little bit. And there are clues included in the game. It just costs you Scooby Snacks, which are points. And I think that worked very, very well. And we were always trying not to use the Scooby Snacks because we wanted to score higher. And I think that kind of gamification really works in this game. The game does require a lot of reading. I mean, there is a lot of reading in this. And we tried to divvy it up between the kids and the adults in the room because we played it as a family. But there is a lot of reading. And sometimes your character isn't in the room. Even though on a turn, everybody's kind of moving everybody and discussing what you want to do. We tried to give a book to everybody and you could read, but there were long paths where you weren't together and somebody wasn't able to read. So we just ended up letting the kids read the book. Or if we wanted, for time reasons, if we wanted to go a little bit quicker, then I would read through it just so we can keep things moving and the pace of it going. It's a little slow paced. And it's built in, it kind of has like two adventures in the box, although there's part 1 and part 2. We ended up playing it all at one time because we didn't want to lose that momentum that we had. And the second part seemed to be a little bit shorter, although the puzzles were probably a little bit tougher in that regard. So really fun. We ended up letting another family, they went on the cruise, they borrowed this, they had a great time with it, and they really, really liked the games. Like, hey, do you have any more games like this? That's always a good sign. So this is a really fun Scooby-Doo themed escape room in a box, and one I can easily recommend for families. Just know it's going to have quite a bit of reading. Keeper for us. Here is Scooby Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion, a coded Chronicles game. There's going to be no spoilers, so don't worry about that. You will get one of these like kind of bad boxes that open up like this. It's okay. This will be the rules, and we'll put those aside, take a look at those in just a moment. But you're going to get 5 books, one for each character. You're going to have Velma, you're going to have Shaggy, Daphne, Scooby, and then Fred himself. Now the standees are going to have things, they're going to have like this little things like this. They're going to bend and they're going to stand up. And it works fine because this is really just a play through once game. I don't expect the components to be great, but you're going to get one of these for each of the 5 characters. Then you're going to have map tiles. I'm not going to show what's on the other side of these. But I can show you the first one because you'll be using it to start the game. It's not a spoiler, but you can see a room with numbers attached to it, etc. And it's very easy to see, very colorful, as you can see right there. You're going to get some hidden envelopes that will be hidden information that you'll open up as you go in. Once again, it's not a spoiler because as soon as you open the box, you're going to see these anyway. And then you're going to get a number of cards here. Now, not a whole lot I can do to show you this without spoiling things, but just kind of know these are cards. These are tarot-sized cards, and they have pretty good artwork on it, but you've probably seen this sort of thing in other escape room games. They feel good. They're not cheapo at all. They do have some reading attached to them. And then you're going to get an envelope that will save your game. So it's kind of like 2 chapters. They break it in to make it a little bit smaller. This is just going to hold your items between chapters if you want to, if you don't want to sit down and play it all at once. Components are actually fairly good for an escape room game that's kind of a disposable game, although you can play this one over and over or gift it out to somebody. You don't rip anything up. Components are fairly good. Here's the rule book. It says, read me first. This is not a spoiler. You're going to open this up and read this before you ever play. It's going to show you, look here for other contents in the box, setup and how to set up the game, etc. Then you're going to have just kind of some explanations about how to use the different characters, some examples with plenty of pictures here. And this will just kind of, get you going here, how to solve problems and some hints on how the Scooby Snack scoring works. And then when you're ready to start your adventure, you will go there and how to handle chapter breaks. And this will be end of game scoring depending on how many Scooby Snacks you have. If you need hints, they're here on the back. It'll direct you to certain places in the books. And if you wanted to, you can mark this out to use your Scooby Snacks. We didn't want to do that to mess it up, but a fairly good aspect. Rulebook is good. No real problems. It's pretty easy to play. Not a whole lot to distract you from playing it. We didn't refer back to this very much at all when playing. So to play the game, you're going to look here. It's going to tell you, you're going to put everything aside, and you're going to grab Fred's narrative book. Now, this is not a spoiler. this will be the first thing you do when you're ready to play a game. You're going to turn to 5,000. You'll be doing this a lot. I'm not going to open the book up too much just so you can kind of see. But when you open up the book, it's going to have 5,000. It'll be the introduction. And you'll read through this, and it'll tell you here, place map 1, and Velma will start in the foyer. So then you're going to get number 1, and you'll kind of put this out here where you can see it. And you'll put Velma here by herself. And it's important to note that you're not playing any character. Everybody's kind of working together here. So when you start out in the room, this is kind of how the game's going to go. You're going to see here there's going to be a number on her. It's going to be research 1. And as you go through the different characters, like Scooby will smell 4, and that will be his book. So they all kind of work the same. So you're going to have research 1, and you're going to go here and put them at the beginning, and you can start looking around. Well, that's only a 3-digit number, so that's not going to work. It's going to tell you you're going to need something else. Probably a key because it's a door. 1401, 1301, 1201. So I'm just going to show you the first one that you might do. Not really a spoiler, but you're going to open up Velma's book, which has 1,000 through 199. We're looking for 1201, and I'm going to try to keep as many spoilers away from here as possible. So what you're going to have here is 1201. It'll tell you you're in the foyer. So if you're not in the foyer, then you don't want to read this. You're on the wrong path. Then you kind of read what it tells you to do. It'll tell you to reveal card 27. You'll go through the deck of cards. You'll find number 27, and then you will reveal it. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but it's kind of how the game will go. You're going to be able to search around. There'll be puzzles that you'll be trying to do. It might have you bring out some cards. It might have you read something from a book. Each of the characters will do something different. She can research, for example. Shaggy can eat. Scooby can smell. You're going to have Daphne, who can use things, and Fred, who can investigate things. You got to use common sense. If you're looking at a table here, or you might not want to eat the table. Maybe you'll smell it if Scooby was in the room. And based on what you're able to do, you'll bring about different actions. That's about all that I can show you without spoiling things. That's a quick overview of Scooby Doo Escape Haunted Mansion. Who should buy this game? Anybody, a family that wants to do an escape room. You like the Scooby Doo motif and theme. I think that works really well here. It does have a tremendous amount of reading. That's going to be a turnoff for some people. There are a lot of good puzzles in this, and I think that at times they can be pretty darn tough for a family. So for us, it's a keeper. Obviously, it's a play once, but we can lend it out or try playing it again after we forgot some of the puzzles down the line. Good. Very good experience.